Peni Parker sucks. Whoa. Put down the pitchforks and torches for a second, y'all, and just let me finish. When I say Peni sucks, what I really mean is Peni could be so much better than she already is. Like, it often feels like Peni is perfect Cell, but she's just a few buffs away from becoming super perfect Cell. Peni is one of the only heroes to not have received any balance changes to her kit since Marvel Rivals dropped back in December, which is kind of wild if you think about it, because there's a ton of changes that could and should be made to her kit, but Netease has been ignoring our girl like that itch you keep saying you're gonna go to the doctor for. And though she's finally got some much appreciated buffs in Season 2, there's still a few things I think could be greatly improved upon. Now, Peni's Season 2 buffs are pretty solid. She got a 100-point increase to her HP, her movement reduction while shooting was decreased from 40% down to 20%, and now she can crit with headshots. However, after running a few games in Season 2, I've noticed a new problem, or more accurately, an old problem that has been greatly exacerbated by the addition of Emma Frost. But I'll touch on that a bit later, as it's one of Peni's largest problems holding her back. First, I want to start my theoretical changes to her kit with something small. Much smaller, but possibly more controversial? Peni's mines. Peni's arachno mines are her best and the largest damage dealing weapon in her arsenal. Each mine does 100 points of damage, and the standard Peni meta is to place at least 3 mines in a single spot because it will instantly melt any enemy with less than 300 health. Peni gets a total of 4 mines, so she's usually left with 1 in the chamber when setting up like this. And when placed in her webs, the mines are invisible and indestructible. Now, Peni players, bear with me here. This is all very basic stuff for us, but there are a lot of players that do not know most of what I just said, and I want everybody to be caught up to the same speed for this video. Now, my main issue with Peni's mines is the speed at which they detonate. For skilled players, it's pretty easy to bait out the mines by walking close enough to proc them and then backing up or just dashing away. This is kind of a problem because, like I just said, Peni's mines are her best form of dealing damage, and Netease clearly wants you to use these mines as reliably as possible because one of her proficiency requirements is getting X amount of damage with her mines. So I think the mines should detonate faster, giving the more agile squishy targets Peni excels at punishing less time to react. Currently, it takes about 37 frames for a mine to pop up from the ground and explode, and a human can typically react to something within a minimum of 20 frames, which translates to about 250 milliseconds. So I think reducing the detonation time down to, let's say, a flat 30 frames or 375 milliseconds would make the mines an even more reliable source of damage and would punish those divers who don't want to respect the space Peni sets up for her team. Now, if this change to detonation time ended up becoming too unbalanced, I would be okay with reducing the damage each mine does from 100 down to 80. This would make it so that 3 mines only do a maximum of 240 damage, so if Peni wanted to secure an instant KO on a target with 300 HP or less, she would have to use all 4 of her mines in one spot. This should balance it out so that the mines don't feel too overwhelming, and it forces Peni to use all of her mines at once if she wants to deter divers from her back line or set up traps in popular spots where poke heroes like to set up shop. The next change I would make is something I've only just recently thought about, and it's Peni's webs. Peni gets a movement speed buff while standing on her webs, but I think she should also impose a movement speed reduction to enemies on her webs. Nothing too crazy, maybe just a 10 or 20% movement reduction to enemies that are on the webs. This would actually synergize really well with her kit and makes sense thematically. Peni's nest generates spider drones that do 40 damage per drone with a maximum of 10 drones, so potentially 400 damage to a target that is hit with every drone. The issue is that the drones have to physically travel to the target and can only target one enemy at a time. So, similarly to her mines, fast or skilled players can mitigate this damage by moving quickly through Peni's nest area. This would also synergize with her mines well, since I don't think those detonate fast enough. Now, to make this balanced, I think we would have to choose between only getting one or the other, between increased detonation speed and web movement reduction, as having both at once may make her a little bit too broken. I would take the web reduction speed because I think it makes more sense thematically and it isn't too overpowered in my opinion. Plus, after all, webs are literally designed to hinder things that move through or onto them, so it just makes sense. Another change I would make to Penny's nest is its targeting priority. Right now, I'm pretty sure the spider drones from Penny's nest target the first enemy that steps onto your webs, but it would make the drones so much more efficient if they targeted the enemy with the lowest amount of health, making them much better for securing KOs and preventing tanks from soaking up all the damage by walking up first so that their DPS can then move up after them. And I don't think anything would need to be changed in regard to the damage or the amount of spider drones generated in order to balance this, as I don't think making a change to the nest targeting priority would make it too overpowered. And now the final changes I would make to Penny's kit has to do with her ultimate. It's no secret that Penny's ult is quite dookie. It's hot garbage, it's dog water, damn near useless on anything with an IQ above 5. So first things first, I would increase the damage from Penny's spider drones from 40 up to 50 while her ult is activated. This would include the drones that spawn from Penny, as well as the ones from her nest should she connect her ult with the nest webs. Couple this with the movement reduction and improved targeting to enemies, and I think this can significantly increase the lethality of her ultimate. This is also a minor thought that I had while writing the script, but I think the pop-up effect from Spider Sweeper needs to be reworked a little bit too. It should pop up enemies and then push them behind Penny, since the webs from her ultimate spawn behind her while running. The pop-up effect should also be a toggle on or off, similarly to Captain America's ultimate, where if he raises his shield during his ultimate, he will pop up nearby enemies while running at them. And then the second, and I think most important change to Penny's ult is CC immunity. I know every Penny main just stood up and gave me a standing ovation. I can hear it right now, even as I write this script, because we all know the feeling of popping your already bad ult and having a Mantis sleep you, then a Luna freeze you, then a Hulk stun you, and now with Emma we have Dommy Mommy chokeslamming you and kicking you halfway to Timbuktu. What the actual like seriously, just watch this clip of Emma stomping me while in my ult. It really just makes no sense to me. Penny literally supercharges her suit, which is why your health hits like 1300 with armor, and then she uses her entire body as a weapon to create space. Why the hell would this not generate some type of force field to stop incoming CC? Like I said, Penny's entire body is on the line when she ults. She's using herself as not only a shield, but a sword. So to me, it doesn't make any sense, either mechanically or lore-wise, why her suit wouldn't have some type of hyper armor in this state. Thor got CC immunity for his ult, and every other tank except for Venom has some form of CC immunity or mitigation. Hulk has his bubbles, Cap and Strange have their shields, Magneto has a bubble and a shield, Emma is CC immune in her diamond form, and the Thing has CC immunity during his charge. Penny deserves to get in on the action, as she's literally charging headfirst into the enemy's ranks, losing all access to her mobility abilities like her grapple and her wall climbing, leaving her a sitting duck when CC'd. Even with the other proposed changes to her ultimate, I still don't think this would make her ultimate broken. If anything, it'll make her feel on par with other ults. Like for you Yevon's sake, Scarlet Witch got buffed with extra HP for her ult that literally just vaporizes 90% of the roster if caught in its radius. I think Penny with CC immunity will be perfectly balanced on its own. But yeah, that's all for this one, folks. Let me know your thoughts on my proposed changes, and if you got any of your own for Penny. We Penny mains gotta stick together, cause for far too long we've been overlooked, but I think our glory days are upon us if Netease will just listen to our feedback a little more about the character. Anyways, I'm off of this one for now. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like. If you didn't, drop a dislike, but you gotta be sure to let me know why you hate me down in the comments. And if you really like the video, go ahead and subscribe for more. And until next time, I will catch y'all later.